podcasters, Brahmins. You have to be a Brahmin, so it's not really accessible. It's funny, I found out that Tulsi Sahib was a Brahmin. I was going to read from the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. The Kauravas outnumber the Pandavas by 11 divisions to 7, as with many wars throughout history. Both sides scramble to cobble together a last-minute peace. Yeah, in each attempt at peace in Israel and Gaza, the motives and desires of each character become all the more starkly outlined. Kunti reveals to her son, Karna, allied since childhood with the Kauravas, that he is in fact a half-brother of the Pandavas. Yeah, a lot of these lists. One guy had a Russian guy, my Russian friend said he had one brother was in Ukraine. The other brother was in Russia, and the other one was in, what's the other country? Duryodhana rejects Krishna, who makes a last-minute diplomatic visit. The Karasa king, Dhritarashtra, sends his minister Sayanja on a similar visit to Draupadi, who has not forgotten her humiliation in the dice game, and persuades the others that war is essential to exact her revenge. So what happened? Belarus is the other country. Belarus? The Gita begins. This atmosphere of resentment and danger sets the tone for the Gita. Yeah. So I have the Ukraine conflict to set the tone for this podcast. The dramatic tension is only heightened by the powerlessness that the characters feel to stop the inevitable energy of war. Yeah, the inevitable energy. So I wasn't able to stop it in this podcast, so I'm going to stop reading the Gita. It didn't stop worse, so it didn't work. Okay. Yeah. This is Garak enlightenment. Since childhood, the Nath Panth occult fascinated me. So the Nathis, yeah. Yes, Goraknath, I read quite a long time ago, the Goraknath and the Kanpat something yogis. And it fascinated me. Growing up in a Marathi household, he always revered Sant Janeshvar for bringing dignity to the language by creating Janeshvari, a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so I brought a lot of dignity to this podcast by commentating on the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita before Janeshvar Mali, an affectionate term for mother, was only accessible to those who knew Sanskrit, or the elite podcasters, Brahmins. You had to be a Brahmin, so it's not really accessible. It's funny, I found out that Tulsi Sahib was a Brahmin. The common man, until the Janeshvari was written, depended upon the interpretations presented by the Brahmins. Yeah, you'd have to depend on the Brahmins, basically, for your information back then, because they didn't have the internet. And the classical upper class at the time, that is, the Brahmins were fluent in Sanskrit. Yeah, I was saying, like on the tennis court, that I publish what's happening on social media because I control the media. Like I take the pictures and I control both religion and religious texts as a result of their knowledge of the language. Janesvar was born a Brahmin. He wrote the Janesvari for the common folk who did not know Sanskrit. Yeah, and I'm not really an English common folk because I have like a 9th cousinship or something to the Queen of England. Okay, so don't call me a commoner, okay? So I'm not a common podcaster. The siblings Na Vrittinath and Jananath and Janeshvar, Zopan and their sister Muktibai were orphaned at a young age. Their parents Vitalpant and Rakumbabad were taken sannyas. Sannyas is the renouncement of all material and familial ties to retire into a frugal life dedicated to prayer and meditation. Well, yeah, these guys were retiring, and I guess I'm retired to a frugal life by force, okay? When the couple realized the futility of life as sannyasis, they returned to their regular life. Yeah, it's kind of a waste of time to be starving to death and grubbing around for handouts. And the Orthodox Hindu society at the time did not approve of this decision and did not grant them permission to lead a normal homely life. Yeah. I wasn't given permission to live a normal life. I was sort of put upon and stuff. The couple was thus ostracized. Yeah, they were telling on the tennis court. We were joking. We were saying that the people who we don't like, or we're what do you call it? What do you call it? They were banned on the tennis court or ostracized on the tennis courts. They are forced to play pickleball. Like if you're ostracized or you're what's the word? Discriminated against on the tennis court because they didn't think you were good enough. You were forced to play pickleball. So that's what pickleball players are. They're people who have been kicked off, have been persecuted and discriminated against on the tennis court. The couple was thus ostracized. The torture they faced at the hands of the society, bound with religious values, forced the couple to take their own life, leaving behind these 4 young children. Because they were children of an ostracized couple, no learned man was ready to take Janesvar under his tutelage as a shishya, a disciple. Circumstances forced Janesvar to find a guru and his elder brother Nivrutanath belonged to the Nath Parampara. Yeah, you could be in a Nath Parampara. They have the Sant Mat Parampara or the Radhaswami Parampara. Parampara means tradition. That goes right up to Adinath, the first Nath. The Nath cult rebelled against the obsolete Orthodox religion. Yeah, so what we're doing here is rebelling against the obsolete Orthodox religion. That's why I'm whispering. That prevailed at the time. Their objective was to reform society through the thoughts of the Nath Pantha. Jnana Vishwanath is the apex of the Nath Pantha that was established by Nadinath. The classical tradition of Nath Pantha charts are shown on pages 90 and 91 and 92 of this book. Okay. The Pantha charts. Yeah, why don't you go to page 92 or 90? This is a simplified chart of the Nath Parampara. Okay. Yet I was telling about that other book. As I researched Janaspar, the Nath Parampara of Adinathan, Matyendranath and Goraknath started to fascinate me. It was around this time that I came across a book written by George Weston Briggs called Goraknath and the Kanpata Yogis, 1936. Yeah, that's the same book that I came across when I was a collector. And, you were reading all these weird, books you got from Motanal Barsini Das or whatever it is from trips to India. Where'd you get all these weird books? Why did you get it? Oh, well. Yeah. Why did you get it? Well, I'm not going to say. Okay. Don't say that. Okay. John Main. This is about John Main, the guy who does Christian meditation, and he's on becoming a Benedictine monk. It seemed only fitting that a successful 33-year-old Dublin law professor, a man of the world who relished the good things life had to offer, well-aged wine, the opera, theater, dinners with friends, should drive up for an interview at the Benedictine Abbey at Ailing in London in a new red MG sports car. Yeah, that's like me. I used to drive around with a new metal plate, blue metal plate, 1665 Mustang convertible with the 4-speed. And wow, you really did? Was it a 289? If I recall, yours wasn't a 289. Wait a minute. You would like to think it was a 289, yeah. Again, friends puzzled why Ailing and not the more prestigious Benedictine communities of Downside or Ampleforth. But John Main liked the urban setting of Ailing. This thriving community with a charisma for school and parish work. Early in his novitiate, he met with his novice master to discuss his daily prayer discipline and meditation learned in Malaya. The novice master felt he should use a more intellectually oriented approach to prayer, using words, thoughts, and images. John Main recalls, on becoming a monk, however, I was given another method of meditation which I accepted in obedience in my new status as a Benedictine novice. This new method was the so-called prayer of acts, that is, a half hour spent in acts of adoration, contrition, thanksgiving, and supplication, a half hour. That is to say, a prayer that was largely words addressed to God in the heart and thoughts about God in the mind. Yeah, so what about it? Yeah. That's from the John Main biography, not an autobiography. Yeah, as I was saying, some of these Indian Sanskrit books are saying the same thing, like this one. Is saying technique. Sit in Siddhasana or any comfortable meditation posture. Place the hands on the knees with the palms facing downward. Relax the whole body and allow it to become steady and still. Become aware of the natural breath. Focus on the breath flowing in and out of the nose tip. Feel the breath becoming slow and even. Bring the awareness down to pelvic floor and direct the flow of inhalation up the Brahmanadi at the center of the Sushumna. From Muladhara Chakra at the base to Akra Chakra to the midbrain. Exhale back down from the Ajna to the Muladhara. Directing the flow of breath through the Brahmanadi and continue the rotation of breath and awareness up and down. Stirring up the energy in the Sushumna. You're supposed to do that. Yeah. That's the Yoga Kundali Upanishad. Yeah. Well, that's enough for now. My book readings. So. Yeah, you've read enough. I'm either a lame podcaster or a layman podcaster, depending on how you look at it. So I'm really looking at layman Pang. He's like a practitioner of Zen, and Pang from the book Layman Pang. Layman Pang appears to have spent a good deal of time in monasteries today as well, for those who really want to get their toes wet. At least months and years of practice in an authentic Zen monastery is strongly recommended. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it should be recommended. In fact, I can't really say I've spent several months or years in an authentic Zen monastery. In the modern world, however, lay Zen will naturally be the focus. It is just a matter of time until a real lay Zen springs forth amongst ordinary people with ordinary minds amidst householders around the globe. It's only a matter of time when it springs up. So, in this podcast, what? Did you make tea? What is that? It's only a matter of time when Zen springs forth among ordinary folks as a result of this podcast. Indeed, the initial cultivation is already well underway, so it's really well underway anyways, because what's meditation is Zen, and Zen is becoming more popular, and so is meditation. What is that? You have your hat? Oh, the pan. Put it by the door. You always put it by the puerta, so you don't forget. No video over there. Yeah, the pan. Yeah, it's okay. Where's our car? The coche. We take coche. Yeah. You have muchas cosas? Yeah. We take in coche. Yeah. So cute. My wife is so beautiful. You're muy hermosa. David, no touch you? You're organizing.
Sí, sino, amor, yo quiero un espejo aquí, yo quiero un espejo para yo sentarme, organizarme el cabello.
You can't organize yourself?
No, es un espejo.
You're
Yo quiero un espejo.
Pijo, your hair? You need a mirror? You have a mirror? Pijo.
Espejo, espejo.
Espejo.
¿Cómo se dice espejo en inglés?
Yeah, we actually cover Spanish and English in this podcast. So I haven't done work on my Spanish studies, and I've been lazy.
Yo quiero comprar un espejo para tenerlo aquí en mi cuarto.
You need a mirror for the bathroom. I want to buy a mirror to have it here in my room. David comprende. I guessed. Yeah, I guessed. Can I see the Spanish words?
Yeah. En el Narinay hay unos que los venden a $10.
Yeah, you know, you should buy
En el 99 venden unos a $10.
more, buy in bueno quality, because there's malo, they have, in 99 they sold some for $10. So. That's okay. Sometimes these mirrors are really ugly. I've seen mirrors that don't even work right. When I look in the mirror, it looks ugly. David's no hermoso. You're hermoso.
David también.
David's so hermoso. David's guapo.
Muy guapo.
You think I'm guapo?
Oh, sí. David muy guapo.
I'm muy guapo.
Mi esposo muy guapo.
Oh, thank you. Does the mirror reflect that? Oh.
Amor, champiñón ya listo.
Oh, ¿de listo?
Sí, ya cuando you finish.
I'm coming. Okay, I finished. Is it listo? Well, I save it more. I'm saving this work. I've done meditation, so I am a householder, obviously, in this podcast. So I'm not a monastic Zen Buddhist. I'm a layman Buddhist and practice Zen at home in the morning before my wife gets up. Okay, so Zen Buddhist retreats within this podcast for lay people in the West have been growing in frequency and numbers in recent years. Yeah, we hope so. They have a retreat in Chicago, it's called a rejuvenation program or something. So, it's mostly for old people. What? Why old people? They're the only ones who feel they need rejuvenated. Why would a 20-year-old need rejuvenation? Well, they technically do, so. Lay retreats have been held in Europe and the United States, blazing an authentic Zen path on home ground in the modern world, providing opportunities for real encounters with elder sisters and brothers in the Dharma. Well, yeah, I meet up with a lot of elder brothers and sisters. Yeah, but you said you could be young brothers and sisters, or they could be, or there are. And, yeah, layman Pang's descendants are everywhere. Yeah, they were saying in a way this layman Pang guy is rather important, and I don't know why, but if you have a guy who practices at home and he maybe knew real Zen, yeah. And he knew what, he had met the founder of Soto Zen and the founder of Rinzai Zen, so that would be the equivalent of meeting the founder of Shiite Islam, or maybe Shiite and Sunni. Oh, do you know those founders, or? I don't know. I know some of the different branches of Radhaswamy, and I've been to Bias, and I've been to Agra, and I've been to the temple of a Swamiji, and I've been to Bias, where Shiv Jamal Singh is there, and I've been. Where you've been around, yeah. I was there as a layman meditation practitioner. Buddhism's fundamental goal has been described in the Pali Canon. Yeah, it sounds cool, that word Pali Canon, just to say Pali. Just to say the word Pali, and canon together is kind of cool. I will say that I used to say in my postings that when I was playing the piano a lot and going to the library, I'd say, I'm playing the entire Western canon in Western classical music. Everything. I'm playing everything. Yeah, it could be a choral work, or symphony, or string quartet. It doesn't matter. You played everything? Well, I joked that I was playing everything. And they had 800,000 scores in the Lincoln Center Public Library. And I was allowed to... You're allowed to take out 50 at a time, because there was a point where I was trying to take out more than 50, and they said, you've reached the limit. So I actually almost kept on an ongoing basis 50 scores at once. What? You're crazy, and you don't know anything about the Pali Canon. Yeah. The Pali Canon as the cessation of this whole mass of suffering entangled in the grand I am conceit. Yeah, and I was entangled in the grand conceit that I am playing the entire Western canon. But you gotta remember that I do employ humor in this podcast, so if I say that I'm playing the entire Western canon, or I'm playing the complete sonatas of Beethoven, or the complete selection of the Chopin nocturnes. Huh?
Pásame tu reloj.
Huh?
Pásame tu reloj.
My reloj? Oh, that's a good idea. She puts the cover on my watch, because in reality, she puts it on, and then I realize that it's not actually working with the cover. And then I take it off, I got to turn off that thing where it says I fell down when I didn't fall down. Yeah. So this is the watch. I have to do something with it too. Oh, technology has distracted you in your concentration. Yeah. That's what happens. So, where are you? And then you lose your place. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, I was saying that this one time, which it's not that it's even a good recording, but I decided that I was going to play all of the Chopin nocturnes in one sitting nonstop, which I did actually. I can't say that it was nonstop like a marathon Chopin. The quality is, it's okay, but who knows how good I played them all. The layman expressed it this way in 2 stanzas of a poem. The will to survive must be killed off. All right, so my will to survive, to play even more pieces, must be killed off. What? You must kill off your ambitions to try to play the entire Western canon and give up, okay? Also, I kind of gave up that project, though I still play and all that stuff. I've toned down my ambitions, and I'm still a player. Oh, I see. You're still a player, even though you lost the tennis tournament. You're out there, and you're glorified. I glorified the guy who beat me, and I made a tremendous video of him killing the other guys. He actually killed. He actually went on to win more games. And the will to survive must be killed off. Once it is killed off, there will be peace. Okay. Yeah, once I kill off a lot of these ambitions and these plans and these grandiose schemes that I have, then there will be peace. Aren't the esteemed sages just regular people who have resolved this matter? Yeah. Yeah, it turns out I'm just a regular person. I'll claim that I could become an esteemed sage in this podcast. Aren't the esteemed sages just regular people who have resolved this matter? Yeah, I'm trying to resolve by reading all these books and studying this stuff, and I'm trying to resolve the matter of what is absolute's highest level state of enlightenment. Yeah. Mommy, you got a pretty dress. Let me see that. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Can I see? Oh. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, yo.
Wow. Yeah, we don't know the implications of what it is to have a beautiful wife. And she's learning more English, and she knows what beautiful wife means. Whether you slowly savor each dialogue or gulp it up down, I trust the layman's marvelous medicine will do its work, and that you will find the place underneath illuminated anew. Quote Jeff Shore, Tofu Kuji Training Monastery, Kyoto 2008. Tofu. Listen to this. Tofu Kuji Training Monastery, Kyoto. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of a cool concept, and I could either read these books or I could go to Kyoto. Yeah, I would think you should go to Kyoto. Yeah. Well, I have gone to Kyoto in this podcast. The New York Times article is talking about the high-end podcasting, how they started to use, now they have more like a video and a podcast, and more people, or maybe young people, are listening to podcasts or even watching them. And they have these high-end studios with the technology and the nice microphone, and everything is gone insanely professional, like this podcast. This one, I don't know, it's not insanely professional. Okay. Is that a good thing? This is not a Hollywood podcast. It's a homegrown, like a Layman Pang would do, let's say. Kafka was always right when he wrote, "One means that evil has is the dialogue." Yeah, one of the means that evil has is a dialogue, like maybe they have a podcast. Consequently, this book is not a dialogue. This podcast is not a dialogue. Since the underlying premise that sustains its double thesis is unashamedly Hegelian, what we refer to as the continent of philosophy can be considered as extending as much as one wants into the past or into the future. So what it is I can go back. There's no dialogue, like I'm not interviewing anybody except myself, and so I don't use like interview people, live audience with the Hollywood studio, with the video and all that stuff. No? Well, no. This is a little bit from Less Than Nothing, Zizak on page. You have a location? Yeah. Location. It said location. It's not in Hollywood. But the location of the book is 327. Huh. One wants there, but there is a unique philosophical moment in which philosophy appears, quote, as such, unquote, and which serves as a key, as the only key to reading the entire preceding and following tradition as philosophy. In the same way that Marx claims that the bourgeoisie, make claims about the bourgeoisie, claims that the bourgeoisie is the first class in the history of humanity, which is posited as such as a class, so that it is only with the rise of capitalism that the entirety of history, hitherto, becomes readable as the history of class struggle. Why do you care about what Marx says? He's a nobody. And Zizak, is he somebody? Why do you read this? This moment is the moment of German idealism, delimited by 2 dates. Yeah, it's all about German idealism. Let's face it. Everybody comes from German idealism. 1787, the year in which Kant's Critique of Pure Reason appeared. 1831, the year of Hegel's death. So these few decades represent a breathtaking concentration of the intensity of thinking. Yeah, this podcast is a breathtaking concentration of the intensity of thinking in this short span of time. More happened than in centuries or millennia of the normal development of human thought. So most of this stuff, like I was saying, I like the period. Beethoven was active, the early 19th century, all that stuff. All that took place before canon shall be read in an unashamedly anachronistic way as a preparation for this explosion. So all these different books and things are really a preparation for my explosion in this podcast, yeah. So that's how that works. I'm really gonna jump around now, because some people say, why you jump around? And then other people might say, why don't you stick to one thing? Or I could read all of one thing, or I could jump around. The Zen Buddhist philosophy of D.T. Suzuki. Now we'll jump over back to, we were reading Layman Pang, we're reading about Zen, and I'm reading Suzuki, which is Zen, so I'm back to the same thought. Examples of this abound in Suzuki. Here are two. A monk asked Tongshan, who is the Buddha? 3 chin of black flax, he said. Yeah, it's just a piece of 3 chin of flax. I think we're flat. You make a flax, you know. We put a little of chia. We have the flax oil, the grass and the flax. Yeah, it's just 3 chin of flax in my hugo. A monk asked Chow Chow, what is the meaning of the first patriot's visit to China? And he said it's just the acacia tree in the farm in Ohio. What? He said the cypress tree and the front courtyard. So what is the meaning of you going to visit Ohio? Does it have any meaning? You like Ohio? We stop in Ohio. Well, she still has some things here, and there's some meaning. And the meaning is that she has her clothes there, and there's some things there stored there. And, plus, it's a farm visit and country lifestyle. And plus, I have to dig around maybe in the garden and get dirty because of the microbiome. I have to do forest dwelling, forest, what do they call the word, deep diving into the forest and walk in the woods or something. Yeah, but don't you have woods here? Not really. I'm starved for my microbiome, my gut flora is starved to death. I lack these things that you get if I dig around in that dirt. Yeah. I'm gonna do gardening. Well, yeah, they should have the right. City people should have to go work on farm so they can get healthy again. And I can walk barefoot. And when do you walk barefoot? Well, yeah, it's so rare to walk barefoot, and so everything I'm doing isn't natural and screwed up. Okay, because you didn't walk barefoot, yeah. My feet are screwed up, and I can't walk now because I didn't walk barefoot. So why don't you go to the beach and walk on the beach? Well, I won't get the dirty.
What did she say? You take videos of yourself exercising? Yeah.
We'll go dig around. Wow, go. You could take this. You could take a Kindle and maybe go and do a podcast on your hike. Okay, I will. I'll shut up. In fact, examples of koans in Suzuki's books often overtook the book. Yeah, and sometimes the examples of koans in this podcast overtake the podcast, sometimes even distracting from and obscuring the wider points I've been trying to make. Zen historian John R. Micro comments, quote, I make fun of quotationary philosophers, but I was just thinking it appears that I am one. Oh, yeah, you are quoting constantly, so even though you've made fun of quotationary philosophers, you are one. Oh, yeah, it's sort of like I was making fun of I was talking about the guys at the tennis court they have addiction, they're tennis. They're addicts basically, and then I said, yeah, I guess I'm one of them. So I'm a quotationary philosopher and haven't admitted to it. Okay. Why are you quoting then? Mommy, what's that? It's pretty. Somebody's birthday? Who's cumpleaños? A niño? Oh, nice. Oh, someday we go to Colombia. Davy Olga. I guess later we will be going.
Colombia.
In the winter time, when we're going, probably December, Davy Olga to Colombia.
Ah, no, pero
What?
si no se mandan esos papeles, Olga, no papeles.
You're getting papers, though. Your papers are coming. She's getting papers. Yeah. One can hardly read a page of 20th century writings unsigned without encountering the use of story as explanatory device. Yeah, they use that in layman pain instead of stories. And I use stories as an exploratory device. And I use the stories from my life. And I quote people as stories. And what?
Amor, tú puedes elaborar las cartas.
Cartas? Plus cartas?
Emigración.
Direction?
Emigración.
The cartas to immigration? Well, the immigration.
Unas cartas.
Cartas. The albums, we have the pictures.
No, unas cartas.
Las cartas. Immigration.
Para enviar a migración. Yo voy a enviar también unas cartas de personas que testifiquen que nosotros sí estamos casados.
Oh, the letters. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Son unas cartas que se envían a inmigración que comprueben que nosotros vivimos juntos.
Yeah. All right. I'll have to write the letters.
Okay.
Yeah, you have examples, maybe?
De la pastora, del dueño de la casa.
Okay. Davey, I'll have to write it. In Spanish or English or
No,
both?
Maybe in English.
Claro.
Oh my God.
English, claro. Yeah, no problem. Davey, we have the computer. I have to get into writing and stuff and get a story.
Yo quiero que esta semana ya enviemos
as an explanatory device. What? I want this week to send those papers. Do you have the address? What's the correct address to that immigration? They have so many addresses. They make it torturously hard. Can't stand that place. They'll tell you to look up the frickin' address, and they have addresses all over the country. And they make it impossible to find what address you send to. The most notable practitioner of this strategy is, of course, D.T. Suzuki. Well, is that why I'm reading him? He's the most notable. I'm not the most notable practitioner, but I don't know if I'm the most notable podcaster, most notable writer, poet. I'm not most notable. That's sad. Why you cry about it? Whose standard approaches effectively to write that Zen is such and such. Yeah, and I'm effectively saying that meditation is such and such. And let me tell a few stories that exemplify what I mean with little or no real attempt at explanation. Well, how do you explain a meditation without talking about the lifestyle or your life hacks and I don't see how you could teach meditation without incorporating life hacks and hacking away in a podcast about when you do it and what time you get up and whether your stomach is empty or whether you do it at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whether you find a good cup. Yeah, whether you have Hugo in the morning or chocolate. We have chocolate or we don't have to have Japanese. We could have Hugo even. And you could have no chocolate as well. And you can go. So I'm gonna go on to another book because I'm looking for the stories about how to live life, how to do a podcast. I'm trying to solve all the problems of the world in this podcast. Really? How do you expect to do that? If you read Homer, I can figure out what to do with the world. What happened to the world? Well, I realize maybe it's the Bhagavad Gita, not Homer. Though I have Homer here. I have Mozart's letters. And, what else you have? Yeah. I have another book. It says, "Will you come to my funeral?" ? She looks down at her coffee cup in front of her and says nothing. "Will you come to my funeral?" he says again. "Why funeral? You're alive," she says. He asks her a third time, "Will you come to my funeral?" "Sure," she says, "I'll come to your funeral. I've got a pot with a birch tree next to it. Nice for you," she says. Yeah, I don't know if anybody who's coming to my funeral in this podcast, but I just read a book about this woman, Kairos, Kairos, by Jenny Erpenbeck. She's a German author from East Germany. Oh, why'd you read her? Are you a communist? Well, and why would you read Zizek, and why'd you read her? You have a communist tendency? Well, perhaps many more years still lie before him, or perhaps only a few. In any case, from now on, Richard will no longer have to get up early to appear at the Institute. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I used to have to get up early way back when I commuted to BLB, or Bayerische Landesbank. They changed the name to Bayern or something, and I got up at least 5 o'clock because I had the train. The 2-hour commute from all the way from Reading to Manhattan. What? All the way to Manhattan? Yeah, I had this off my office across the street from Marilyn Monroe event from where her dress blew up on Lexington Avenue, 51st and Lex. Wow, what's that? My wife was there, and I took her there, and I pulled up her dress, and I made a picture, and I made a big hoopla about it, okay? As of today, he has time, plain and simple, and now that I've retired, I have time. I have a lot of time to do this podcast. So I'm able to do meditation, and then I'm able to... I try to spend good quality time with my wife. Oh, look, that's pretty. Why do you make that? Oh, you make a photo. Oh, you can make a cup. She can put a photo on a cup. Plain and simple. Time to travel, people say. I don't know if I have time. I'm going to go to Chicago. I'm going to go. My sister's coming. We go to Ohio, go to Boston, go to Massachusetts. Where else you going? Where are you going? To read books. And I have a lot of books, and I'm currently reading a book in this podcast. Proust, Dostoevsky, Time to Listen to Music. Yeah, and sometimes I've listened to music. I've listened to Richter. I play the piano on YouTube. I have WQXR. I have a radio. I don't watch television and don't have one. Oh, yeah, and you rarely watch. You won't even watch or finish. You watch like 1 minute and quit. What's wrong with you? I watch Netflix. I have Netflix or Prime, and I don't hardly watch them because they're stupid. Oh, okay. Why are they so stupid? Yeah. Well, I started to watch. Some of it may not be stupid. I started to watch Hamlet. What?
Esas están muy bonitas.
I was watching Mel Gibbs, what's his
Eso no es
name?
una taza, eso.
Watching Hamlet. Started to watch. Oh, those are pretty. Why do you have so many pretty photos of mine? We have mucha photos. I like the cups, though. You know, we don't have that many coffee cups. To read books, browse Dostoevsky. Time to listen to music. I take the time to play music, and I've been playing the Chopin Nocturnes. I played all the Beethoven sonatas. I play all the Chopin Nocturnes. Yeah, but your friend, he just asked you to play Elton John, so I was stuck with his request.
Esa es linda.
It's Linda. He doesn't know how long it'll take him to get used to having time. Well, what's wrong with getting used to having time? I don't know. I have found ways to fill up my time, and I used to say, I say, and whether it's my philosophy or my quotes or my podcast or my poetry, I say, like, if you don't know what to do or you can't find something to do, it's time for meditation. Okay, so if you are bored or you're tired of reading or you're tired of listening to music, you're tired of this and that, and you exercise, then it's time for meditation. So he doesn't know how long it'll take him to get used to having time. Well, that happens to people in retirement, I think, and some of them, they fall into depression. So if I go 3 or 4 days without any exercise, it could be quite bad, because your body starts deteriorating. Oh, has that happened to retired people? Yeah, the ones who don't have some sort of infrastructure of love of their wife, they have their friends and family, their exercise routines, and their exercise buddies, and their hit partners, and their meditation routines, and their satsang, and their what? Do you have an infrastructure of support? Well, I'm trying to learn how to have time and use it. In any case, his head still works just the same as before. Wow. Yeah, despite all this stuff, like, am I trying to improve myself with my getting the tennis hits even better and meditating? In any case, his head still works just the same as before. Yeah, some people might argue with all this self-improvement that I haven't improved at all. What? You have a problem. You should pray for the grace of the Master, so you get out of your rut. What's he going to do with the thoughts still thinking away inside his head? Yeah, the Master would say, I still have these thoughts still thinking inside his head. I have to get rid of those things. So I'm working closely with AI to get a brain monitor to latch into all these stupid thoughts. So it's going to filter out. If I get AI stupid thought filter, I can monitor that I'm having a stupid thought. Okay. So I won't have negative thoughts anymore.
Alright, I think I'm going to get going.
And then once the technology is perfected, it can be applied to everybody. So nobody can have an aggressive, evil thought, and they can devote their time to nice meditation. And the AI will stop all the wars and all these things. What's he going to do with the thought still thinking away inside his head? He's had his share of success. Yeah, and I've had my share of success over the boom and the bust, and things went up and things went down. And now, at least what passes for success. Yeah, at least what passes for success, half the time, about approximately half the time, I'm winning on the tennis court. At least, which is not that good. To win half the time, it's like, how good is that? Well, you're good enough to be a player, I suppose, with the other guys, but you're not a big star like you think you are in your head. At least what passes for success, he's published books and been invited to conferences. The thing is, I have published books, actually, and I think I'm due to publish more, but I've had a creative lull, and I have to get back into writing, and his lectures always filled up, and his lectures did fill up, but mine haven't, and students were assigned his books to read, and I have one finance book, but I don't know if it's assigned, and highlighting passages to learn by heart for their exams. I was just reading from the other book of that woman, an East German woman, Jenny Erpenbeck. It says, go, went, gone. So that's what I'm going to do, is go to Flushing to the USTA tennis culture and go play tennis outside. Wow, it's going to be warm too. What happened, Maura? You made a pretty cup? Wow, look at that. She's artistic in a way. She's making she makes things nice with it. On her phone, she's making it. That's nice. Yeah. Well. So, what's so nice about it? Well, why wouldn't it be nice?
Mikey doesn't do yoga, but he does all that.
It's not about yoga. It's about
How much time is left?
I haven't done yoga. I do everything else.
What was I reading? Oh, yes, that German thing. Yeah, she was East German, and she's was in the New York Times, and she grew up under East Germany and remembers those times, and I don't know if I'll end up reading those books or not, but I just read a sample. The next is Garak Sadhana. Okay. A yogi should firmly place his heel against Yoni Sthana, the perineum, in other words, the base of urethra, while placing the other heel above the penis and pressing the chin against the chest.
Getting rid of this. I have to get rid of it. What happened?
Yeah, how am I going to do this? I have to place one foot heel up there.
All right,
chin
thank you for the
down,
massage. Yeah.
with the senses